Hey all you rockers, groupies, and everything in between. Jack the Punk King, and tonight we're talking about drugs. And no, don't do drugs. No, we're talking about how drugs and musicians, how they have affected each other. Now, if you guys listen to stuff like, I'm going to use Pink Floyd because I've been listening to them a lot lately, you're going to think, whoa, what was this guy on? That's a fair thing to think about. Most musicians do drugs, and that's their choice. I'm not going to say, I don't do drugs. And yeah, there's probably going to be that asshole who comments on this video, that's why you're not a famous musician yet. Yeah, shut up. No, I don't do drugs because I don't want to. I'm not saying that it changes your music because, well, it does change your music. I can't say that it makes you better because I don't know. I'm not going to try it just to become a better musician. No, I'm going to work the way I do. But it does change your kind of music, or what you think of. If you listen to Jimi Hendrix, he would be so stoned by the end of one of his shows. There's even an old wise tale that he would always wear bandanas, and there's an old wise tale that what he would do would cut his forehead and put acid in his bandana, so that way he'd have a constant high. And I don't know if he did that or not, for fact, but my favorite band, Nirvana, Kurt Cobain was a heroin addict. He smoked weed, did all the drugs. John Lennon, the Beatles, I love the Beatles. LSD guy, he probably did it all. I'm not gonna... Like I said, it's not that it doesn't affect your music. But what it is, I'm not going to say it makes you better. It may have a different a different, like I said, effect, but it gives you different ideas. I have talked to people who do drugs and are musicians, and they have come up with some stuff while they were really high that I read the lyrics, I liked it. I've also talked to people who don't do drugs and play and write, and I've listened and I like it. And there are people who are 100% anti-drugs. It doesn't do anything for your music. It doesn't change or give you inspiration. No, it can give you inspiration. I've heard some pretty stoned people play some funny stuff, but it's not bad. I liked it. A lot of, I don't know how many times he went to rehab, but I think Dave Mustaine was a huge drug addict. Oh my gosh. And he went to rehab, I'm going to say 3 times. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. James Hetfield, and it's not just, it's metal, it's grunge, it's rock. No, it's not. Johnny Cash was addicted to, speed, I think, and he's a country musician. He was addicted to speed, so was Elvis. That's old rockabilly and rock and roll. So, it's not just a certain genre. It's not just a certain band. It's not just a certain musician. No, it's a lot of musicians. They do drugs, and it changes their music. Now, sometimes it's a good way. Sometimes it's in a bad way. I know a lot of people who love the Beatles up until Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Marching Band. Because that was Yellow Submarine, Nowhere Man, those songs, yeah, you listen, it was like, yeah, that dude was, out there. And I'm not saying they didn't do drugs before that. I'm pretty sure they did. What I am saying is that changed their music. Octopus's Garden, I am the Walrus, a awesome song, hilarious music video, and they were stoned out of their minds when they wrote it. And it's a great song. And it's a very funny album, but it's a good album. Led Zeppelin, oh my gosh, Stairway to Heaven, you know they were stoned when they wrote that. And there are a lot of other musicians who are 100% clean and write great stuff. I can't think of any right now. I can think of small artists like, well, he's not small, he's getting bigger, he's getting more well-known. He's from the little town where I'm from, Jordan Silvis. Pretty sure that guy's clean. I've played with him in my old youth group band, and I've done a couple shows with him. And he does a lot of acoustic stuff and poppy stuff, and it's good. I'm trying to think. Alcohol also does affect an artist. I mean, there would be nights I've seen people just sloshed on stage. Dimebag Darrell was a heavy drinker. I mean, he'd be on stage and he'd have a drink here, a drink here, and a drink here, and a drink here, and a drink here, and he'd just be playing, chug, throw it, play. And when you're on stage, you're sweating so much that you just drink the alcohol and it comes right out through you through sweat. I'm not saying it doesn't have an effect on you still, but it's still, you're using it and you're sweating it off. That's a fair estimate that you're running on so much adrenaline, by the way, can technically be considered a drug, and any musician or any person runs on that. Any athlete will use that to their advantage. I've done shows and I'll come off and I'm like, whoa, so drained and I'm about ready to pass out. It's because the adrenaline kicked in. So, I mean, if you want to say that, in a sense, every person is a druggie because of your adrenaline, but that's a different topic. Kind of. I'm not going to go into that tonight. But, and again, it is always your own opinion to think that musicians who do drugs are better than musicians who don't, and I like both. Paul McCartney to this day still smokes weed, and still writing good music, playing with musicians still. And David Grohl still, he's clean. Still, you know, you can't see it, but I got a Foo Fighters bracelet on. Big Foo Fighters fan, big Nirvana fan. And he's written some pretty good stuff while he was clean. Dave Mustaine, he's been clean for a while. Like I said, he's gone to rehab a lot. Super Collider, an amazing album, I love it. He wrote it while he was clean. And he's pretty fast in most of the solos, so is Chris Broderick. And they're all clean. So, again, drugs, take it as you will. It changes your music. I'm not going to say it helps you, because I don't think it does. And I'm not saying if you want to be a musician, go out and do drugs, because I'm not going to say it makes you better, because in my opinion, I don't think it does. But remember, it is all your guys' opinion. So, thanks for watching, and in the next video, I'm going to talk kind of at a sensitive subject for me. It's going to be about where you start with just people with music, and where you start getting around with people in music. But once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.